Hello friends, my name is Smriti Vasavda and today we are going to start with the second chapter, Incentives and Wages. Let us now move to the next topic, that is types of wage differentials. Wage differentials is done on the basis of occupation, geographical location, skills, knowledge, or according to the industry. Let us talk about the types of wage differentials. The first type of wage differential is occupational differentials. Occupational differential is a scenario where there is a wage differential on the basis of occupations. It can be in the same firm or maybe in the different firm. If there are two laborers and the occupations of both the laborers are different from each other, there has to be a wage differential. So, occupational differential is a scenario where there is a differential among the wages of the laborer on the basis of their occupation or the work that they do. The next type is inter-firm differential. Inter-firm differential exists between the laborers of two different firms. Both the firms may be in the same occupation or may be doing the same business, but still there can be wage differentials among the two firms. So that is called inter-firm differentials. In short, inter-firm differentials is the wage differentials or the difference between the wages paid to the employees of one firm in comparison to the other firm. The next type is inter-area or regional differential. Inter-area or regional differential exists when both the companies are located in different regions or different areas altogether. It is not concerned about the performance or about the skills or about the laborers of different firm. It is totally different from the industry situated in one location as compared to the industry situated in other location. It only depends on the region in which the industry is located. So basically, inter-area or regional differential is a scenario where there is a wage differential among the laborers of two organizations situated in both the different regions. The next type is inter-industry differential. Inter-industry differential is a scenario where both the industries are carrying out different business or different activities. So here, if one factory or industry is related to FMCG and other is related to some other non-important goods, so here the laborers in the FMCG company would be getting more wages as compared to the other. So normally or naturally there would be a wage differential among two industries on the basis of their occupation, the business activity, etc. The next and the last type of wage differential is personal wage differentials. Personal wage differentials only considers the personal characteristics of the employees or laborers. It considers the age, the gender, the status or ethnic group from which the laborers belong. So basically, it considers only the personal characteristics of the employees or laborers in personal wage differentials. Let us now talk about the importance of wage differentials. The first important is it enables the labor to be allocated among different occupations, skills, industry and geographical location. So here there can be a proper division of labors on the basis of their geographical location, their skills, industries, etc. The next importance is it enables full employment of resources. If we provide wages to the laborers on the basis of their geographical location or on the basis of their skills or on the basis of the industry that they work in, it enables full utilization or optimum utilization of the labor resources in that particular area. The next importance is it facilitates the most desirable rate of economic progress. Economic progress is only possible because of the optimum utilization of resources done by the various industries. Economic progress can be in terms of financial progress or in the terms of employment. So because of wage differentials and division of wages on the basis of various factors such as industries, skills, geographical location, it leads to economic progress or the progress of business or company itself. Let us now talk about the elements of a good wage plan. There are various elements of a good wage plan that the compensation management team has to keep in mind while making a particular incentive plan for the laborers or workers. The first element is fair and justifiable. Each and every incentive plan has to be fair and justifiable. It has to be simple and easy to understand by the laborers. There shouldn't be any partiality from the employer's side. The next element is it provides more wages to efficient and skilled workers. As I said, the organization is concerned about the performance and the wage is paid on the basis of skills and performance. More efficient workers gets paid more as compared to the non-performers. The next element is flexible. The way incentive plan is flexible on the basis of geographical location, on the basis of skills, on the basis of industry. As I said, as we talk about the various types of wage differentials, we had spoken about the wage differentials on the basis of occupation, on the basis of region, on the basis of personal characteristics, etc. So it is flexible considering all these factors in mind. The next element is it follows government's rules and also the trade union norms. Trade union is normally formed by the employees or laborers in the same organization to get a pay raise. So each and every organization has to follow various government rules and the trade union norms. Government rules such as Payment of Wages Act, Payment of Bonus Act, Minimum Wages Act, etc. The next element is it is simple and easily understandable. So, as I said, it has to be simple and easily understandable because it should be easily understandable and flexible from the employer's side. And accordingly, it should be easy so that each and every laborer can calculate their wage on their own. The next element is it maximizes workers' satisfaction. Even if there is a wage differential on the basis of various factors, the wage is purely calculated on the basis of performance, on the basis of units produced by them. So here it increases or maximizes workers' performance because it motivates the workers to work more. And at the same time it reduces labor turnover. If the worker is motivated or if he is satisfied with the wage or salary that he receives, it naturally reduces labor turnover. Labor turnover is a basic term where the labor leaves the organization for XYZ reason. The next element is it assures equal pay for equal work. It only considers the performance of the workers as the basis of their pay. So it naturally assigns or it assures equal pay for equal work. It considers the number of units produced by the worker and accordingly assigns the pay to him. The next element is it helps in improving the performance and productivity of the workers. As I said, wage is dependent on various factors including the performance of the workers, including the number of units produced by him. It motivates the workers to work more and to earn more wages. so it naturally helps in improving the efficiency and productivity of the workers.